So while I thought the addition of Jimmy Butler to the Golden State Warriors would certainly make a big difference for this Warriors team, I had no idea just how big of a difference it actually was going to make. I have to say, after watching Jimmy Butler play with the Golden State Warriors for 6 games in which the Golden State Warriors are now 5-1. They've also had back-to-back blowout wins. They've got Charlotte coming up tonight. I have to say, Jimmy Butler is absolutely a difference maker for this entire Golden State Warriors team. And while the Warriors are currently in 9th spot in the Western Conference, we certainly know that before you blink an eye, they could be in the 6th spot and not have to suffer through some sort of play-in scenario. Look, at the end of the day, what the Golden State Warriors, if you will, fleeced away from Pat Riley and the Miami Heat is essentially a basketball player who, when healthy, is one of the best, if you will, two-way players in the NBA. Being up here in the Bay Area, I've had a chance to actually watch Jimmy Butler fairly close up since he joined the team. And I can tell you that Jimmy is a difference maker on both sides of the ball. And it's not just the fact that Jimmy actually plays defense extraordinarily well. It's not just the fact that Jimmy shoots with a high percentage. It's not just the fact that Jimmy actually goes to the free throw line, which is something that the rest of the Golden State Warriors team has certainly struggled with. It's not just the fact that Jimmy Butler's IQ is basically off the charts when it comes to actually coffee as well as playing basketball in the NBA. In case you don't know, Jimmy's got a new coffee company that he recently launched. Look, at the end of the day, this Golden State Warriors team is absolutely for real, and assuming everybody can stay healthy and they can find their way into the 6th, maybe 7th spot in the playoffs this year, they certainly will be a team that, with a rejuvenated Steph Curry, certainly could go a long way. Now, Jimmy Butler also makes everybody else around him better. Look, Jimmy doesn't need to shoot 30 times a game. Jimmy doesn't need to shoot 20 times a game. Jimmy could shoot the ball 10 times a game and still average over 20 points. He is a complete player, and when you watch the highlights of Jimmy is sort of like, if you will, a bug light. And when Jimmy goes to the hole, everybody on the defensive side converges on him, which of course opens up everything else for the rest of this Warriors team. Now, the players outside of Steph Curry who are certainly benefiting the most from having Jimmy Butler on the court is certainly Draymond Green also looks rejuvenated, but Brandon Podziemski, aka Pods, absolutely has to be at this point loving the toughness of one Jimmy Butler and what it actually means to him. If you will, over the last 3 games, Pods has actually looked like, if you will, a shorter version of Austin Reeves of the Los Angeles Lakers. 18 points, 21 points, and 17 points. 13 rebounds in the last game, 5 assists against the Kings, and he had 5 rebounds against the Rockets. At the end of it all, what you get by bringing Jimmy Butler to this team, all of the people that actually worried about the chemistry of Jimmy Butler working with this particular team should be absolutely laughed off the internet. Because what we've seen time and time and time before is when Jimmy Butler actually joins a team, that team actually becomes a real threat. Yes, we know that Jimmy exits teams poorly. That's a different video, probably, which we'll end up doing in about 24 months. But for now, Jimmy Butler on this Golden State Warriors team is absolutely, truly a real difference maker. not just for Pods, not just for Steph Curry, but also for all the other young players on this team. Even Quentin Post actually looks significantly better with Jimmy Butler handling a big portion of the offense. Now, we know that Steph Curry is still, even at his age, one of the greatest basketball players in today's game. If you will, Steph Curry is still basically a top 10 player in the NBA. And on those nights where Steph is truly hot, then he's basically a top 5 player in the NBA. In his last game against the Mavericks, Steph actually told the Mavericks to night-night in the third quarter of the game. Steph scored 30 points in the first 3 quarters of the game before actually putting the Mavs to sleep, if you will, tonight. Now, none of this 5 wins in the last 6 games would have probably been possible without Jimmy Butler. I think all the Golden State Warriors fans should send a note over to Pat Riley thanking him for totally butchering the Jimmy Butler scenario. I believe that Jimmy really wanted to stay in Miami and could not believe that Pat Riley and the Miami Heat organization actually did him the way they did him. So for Jimmy Butler to actually join this Golden State Warriors team, I think it basically sends a message to the rest of the NBA and specifically to the rest of the teams that are going to be in the playoffs this year in the Western Conference. Wait till you see playoff Jimmy, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry in the playoffs. Look, if it was just Steph Curry and Draymond going up against any other team, then that other team probably would have a better chance of beating the Golden State Warriors. But by bringing Jimmy Butler onto this team, and Jimmy certainly still has a lot left in the tank, this Warriors team is, if you will, one of the most dangerous teams entering the second half of this season, and probably one of the most dangerous teams in the Western Conference when we head into the playoffs. For the NBA Rundown, I'm Dave DeBaugh, wishing you all a tremendous rest of your sports viewing day.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show